Hey guys, Chaos here with a triple review. This time I'll be reviewing the action hero, GozyuLeon GozyuTyranno and GozyuPolar from No.1 Sentai Gozyuger. These are posable action figures of the blue, yellow, and 6th Rangers of Gozyuger, and each includes one accessory. So, let's get started. So, first off, we'll take a look at GozyuLeon. This is the Blue Ranger team, and as the name implies, he's lion-themed. When taking a look at the head, you can see that it bears a resemblance to the GozyuLeon Sentai ring. You can see the basic blue shape of it. With the gold armor in it, you can see it definitely has the look of a lion's mane. You've got the eyes above the visor. And going around the back, you can see that, like with Goju Wolf, the visor actually extends around the back of the head to make it look like there's a ring on the head itself. As for the body, it is the same shape as GozyuLeon, or Goju Wolf rather. So we've still got the same chest armor pieces, arms and legs, and the buckle of course, but done up in blue with dark blue undertones. For articulation, got rotation joint at the head, can be tilted slightly downwards. Got an ab crunch and general ball joint at the torso. The arms can go in and out, but are limited by the shoulder pads. Can be rotated this far forward and this far back. Single joint elbow, bicep swivel, wrist swivel. At the waist, you have a little extension joint that can allow it to bend pretty far forward and back, in and out. Single joint knee and ball joint ankles. For his accessory, he includes a Tega sword. So this is the same as the one that you get with an action hero Goju Wolf, as you got the main body done up in gold, and the blue blade and the black handle. Though as you can see, they basically made a generic ring mold in there, so that they could just use the same mold for all of the Gozyugers. And so you can just take that and then get into his right hand, so you can hold and pose with it. Next, we'll take a look at GozyuTyranno. He's the Yellow Ranger of the team, who is Tyrannosaurus themed. Taking a look at the head, you can see that it does resemble the GozyuTyranno Sentai ring. You can see the base yellow color with the gold armor, or gold adornments to it, that do resemble a Tyrannosaurus head. You can see the eyes in there, it's got some nostrils, you got the visor. And one thing that is kind of interesting about this helmet in particular is that rather than being fully rounded, you can see that it does kind of flatten out at the top, which is a little bit different than the shape of the Sentai ring, but also is something that stands out, as you don't see this all too often with Rangers, and when it does happen, it's pretty noticeable. And so once again, like with GozyuLeon, it has the same base body design as the other Gozyugers. So you got, of course, the torso armor, Then you got the armor on the arms and legs, as well as the buckle, and you got the yellow color with, in this case, orange undertones, which is a little bit not so show accurate, but it does definitely help distinguish these parts of the body. And something I didn't quite show is that, well, it's not as painted on the back, but you're mostly going to be looking at it from front angles anyways. It's got the same range of articulation. And like with Goju Wolf and GozyuLeon, includes a Tegasword. The same mold as before. So we can have him wielded in his right hand. And last but not least, we have GozyuPolar. So this is the White Ranger and Sixth Ranger of the team. And starting out from the head, you can see that's a little bit more colorful than the normal Gozyuger heads would be. As you can see, not just the white color and of course the golden black for the face, but you also have some accents in a light blue color, both going along the top of the head as well as for the eyes of the bear up top, as well as the nose. You'll see the crest and all these details, and it still does continue the trend of the ring part going all the way along the back. And then the torso is where things also start to get changed up, as you've got a different design for the shoulders, where they look like they may have these individual claws, as well as a pair of claws, or a pair of two claws, both going in towards the center, as well as one coming in from the top, although that is shared with the other Gozyugers. In addition, unlike the three Gozyugers we've looked at thus far, instead of having the base suit color be the color of the ring in the center, instead it's matching the accent colors of the suit. You can see some gold lines running down the suit and making it look like a martial artist's robe. It does, however, share the same gauntlet design as the main Gozyugers. However, there is actually no armor on the lower legs, which also stands out. Then got his Goju buckle, or his Tsumega buckle, which is in black instead of gold. And you can see all the details on the back as well. And then, of course, you have the nice white color with, in this case, gray undertones. So that at least does give us a little bit more going for it compared to the others, because as is very common and kind of traditional for Sixth Rangers, it does change up the suit design. So we still have that same level of articulation. And interesting enough, this also reveals something about the way these figures are made, which is that despite it, having a design where it looks like he should be able to raise his arms up that far, what it also kind of shows is that the limitation is not just because of the shoulders, but also just because of the way the joint is engineered inside the shoulder, where it stops at this point, regardless of if there's any armor blocking the way. There is still the limitations because of the way the suits are designed and just the way it goes, and the thing about this is that this is a combination of both the way the shoulders have been engineered as well as the suit designs, because even in the series, these shoulder pads are molded to the chest armor, so it's not the kind of thing where it's a separate hanging shoulder pad like what you see on a lot of Kamen Riders. But that still does give him a pretty good range of motion going throughout the body. And so for him, of course, his accessory is the Gouda Burn. So this one is mostly in white with black for the handle. You can see all of the mold in detail, and in the case of this one, if we take a closer look at, although it's hard to make out, they did mold in the proper shape of the GozyuPolar Sentai ring, because that's the only ring that's used with this for transformation. And of course, like with the others, you can have him grip it with his right hand, just like so, and it fits over quite nicely. And there we go. So overall, I have basically the same thoughts for GozyuLeon and GozyuTyranno, and then some different thoughts for GozyuPolar, so I'll kind of be dividing up into these two and then the third one. So for GozyuLeon and GozyuTyranno, the Balloon Rangers of the team are represented well in figured form here. The problem is something that is, very typical of Sentai, in that with these, they are virtually identical except for the helmet design and the suit colors, and so there's not too much to distinguish them from each other, or even from the previous released Goju Wolf figure. And I think what actually really holds it back is the accessories, because at this point it's pretty clear that for the Action Hero series, Bandai is being pretty strict about giving each figure only one accessory, and in this case I think it's a shame that for these they picked the Tegasword, because it is the same changer for all the team, as is the nature of most main teams in Sentai. But it also means that there isn't as much to help them stand out from each other. And while in the case of Goju Wolf, his personal weapon hadn't been revealed yet and wasn't available to him at the start of the series, with these two they did have the personal weapons from the start, and I think it would have been nice if instead of having the Tegaswords, they instead include their personal weapons. So, as you can see, in that case, if you want to really kind of make them stand out, you kind of have to pose them in different ways to better express their personalities. But it would have been nice if they also had different accessories. However, GozyuPolar doesn't suffer from these problems, as being 6th Ranger, he both gets, a specially designed suit just for him, as well as a different accessory, since his changer/weapon is different. So, as far as recommendation go, if you want to, you will be able to collect the entire team of Gozyuger in the Action Hero series, as they are also releasing Goju Eagle and Goju Unicorn at the end of August. I will be picking them up. But if you're more so on the fence, or not really feeling the fact that they are so similar and have the same accessory, then I'd say it's perfectly fine to just pick out your favorites of the main team and then GozyuPolar, or pick and choose which ones you want, just because they are all the same quality of figure, just only so slightly different. But nonetheless, these are good figures, especially because we are not likely to see them in the SH Figure Arts line. Next time I'll be reviewing the Deluxe Sentai Ring case. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KR50, riding off.